Hey, it's Brock here from Uncommon Aquatics, and today I'm going to show you what I think is a really nice starting collection of rare or harder to find African cichlids that I've spent the last 6 weeks trying to hand pick so that I didn't end up with any duplicates, but I got a nice mix of colors and species and fish that will go well together. So you guys haven't seen this aquarium since I got it as a rescue. I got these two aquariums, these two 55 gallons, off of Marketplace, and they were really gross. They had black water in them, and there was still fish in there, and it was kind of a mess. But I got a good deal on them. I rescued these aquariums, and I let them get established. Now I've been going around trying to find the coolest African cichlids I could find. And from everything I can find, talking to local fish shop owners and local breeders, African cichlids are the most popular species in the hobby, but they're probably the species I know the least about. I've kept them several times, but I always just grabbed a color. I said, I'll take a red one and a blue one and a yellow one. I never really learned the differences between them and the scientific names. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the fish that are in here. Some of them have their final colors, and some of them are so small that they're not yet colored up. But I want to walk through everything I have in here and just show you what I have. And there's a couple fish that I don't remember the name of, and I'm hoping some of you cichlid guys can tell me what I have in here. As a matter of fact, there's one fish in here that I got from the most knowledgeable fish store in the area, and they couldn't figure out what kind of fish it was. So I'm hoping some of you guys can tell me. First thing we've got to do is there's a new fish here in the bag that needs to be let out, and we'll cover that guy first. So the new fish here in the bag, I'm still going to struggle with the scientific name, so we're going to show it to you here from Imperial Tropical's website. It's a Phoenoscylus giselle. Fish store owner said it would be kind of like a smaller version of, I think they call it a dolphin nose or something like that. I'm just really bad on the details of the specifics on Africans. But that is the fish that's in this bag. So let's get him in there. And before I do, to try to temper any aggression, we're going to feed the whole tank so that they're distracted. Then we will release him. Now we can go through this 55 gallon, one fish at a time, and see what we have in here. The first thing I'll start with is there are 3 fish in here that aren't even African cichlids, but they pair really well in an African cichlid tank. And I've been told that as those fish get bigger, they will actually help with aggression in the African cichlid tank by being larger and having just the right temperament. And in that case, I'm talking about the parrot cichlids. We've got a blood parrot right over here, the original red blood parrot. Then we have a polar blue down here in this corner. And then we have a platinum polar blue in the middle. They've worked really well so far in this aquarium. There is some sparring back and forth, but that's just what you get with African cichlids. And it's not problematic to this point. If I zoom in down here, you might see there's also a couple of catfish down there under that decoration. Zoomed in too far and they're swimming in front of it. There is a bumblebee catfish, and he's actually right there. And that's not the small bumblebee that you sometimes see. It's called a Japanese bumblebee catfish. And they get about 1 foot long. He may end up in another aquarium, but it'll be quite a while before I have that problem. Now this blue guy here with the yellow head, that's a sulfur head. I got that from Robert at Scallywag's Fish Bowl. It's a beautiful fish. It's fit in really nicely with the others. He has breeding pairs of those. And here we have an OB peacock, and actually 2 of them next to each other. And that is the only duplication I have in here. I got them from 2 different places and didn't realize I was getting almost the same looking fish. No big deal, but I'm trying to avoid any duplicates. And here we have a blueberry cichlid, which I believe is essentially a color variation of an OB peacock. That beautiful fish. I paid probably the most of any fish in here for that one because he was already good size. And that's kind of a sought after color combination. We just had some lip lock between the newest fish in here and that platinum parrot. Hopefully that doesn't turn into a problem. You know, most of you guys are probably into African cichlids, and you'll be way ahead of me on this. But the solution to aggression with African cichlids is the opposite of what you would think. If you didn't know anything about fish keeping, you would think, give them more room to spread out and they won't fight. But in reality, overcrowding them is the way to reduce aggression, because they get distracted by each other and it just spreads that aggression out. The next fish we have here is known as a giraffe cichlid. It's also known as a venustus. Looks kind of silver and black right there, but in reality, the coloration on this fish is more green or yellow. It's got those big spots where you can see where that giraffe name comes from. Oh, see, we've got that lip lock going again. It's common behavior in these types of cichlids. Now, another thing I need to do is, this is a new tank setup, and it just has this artificial background, this plastic fake rock thing. And I need to build up a stack of real rocks in here. Come on, guys, let's get along. But building up a stack of rocks in here would really help, because it gives fish kind of different territories that they can claim and separate themselves in, as opposed to this being mostly open water. And to be truthful, out of the 3 parrots I've had and out of hundreds of cichlids that are in my fish room, this platinum is maybe the most troublesome fish I own. He wants to fight with everything. I had no intention of putting this fish in here, but he was fighting with the fish in the 210 gallon. There's that little strawberry Synodontis I was talking about. It's tiny, but it has doubled in size. I was worried it was so small it wouldn't make it in here, but I think we're going to be all right. And there's no light back there. It's hard to see. But that bumblebee catfish is back there. Now, I think this one is called a diamond sapphire. I keep wanting to call it a starry night cichlid, but that is in the 210 gallon. But that black one back there is apparently pretty sought after. I paid a little more for him than most of these. I believe this right here is a Fieri. And maybe this one is as well. Fierii. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've seen it written. And those are one I haven't seen a whole lot in different shops. Here we have an electric yellow lab, which I believe that is the only Mbuna in here. Mbuna sometimes are a little bit meaner than the other types of African cichlids, but he hasn't given me any problems so far. Did I say diamond sapphire? Let me know. Is that a diamond sapphire? Is that the name of that mostly black cichlid there? And then here we have this one. I was told will be very bright colored and beautiful, but his colors haven't come in yet. It's a lemon something. Guys, I wish I was better on these names. I think a couple of them I've written down, and let me see if I can find those. Okay, I believe this might be the lemon Jake, but I'm not sure. That lemon Jake that I had written down could be this guy. I'm not knowledgeable on the African cichlids, but I bought it. I bought all of them from people who are. Then we've got this guy up here, which I believe is a Fusco cichlid. I've got the complete name for it. It looks like it's a Fusco Asia pneumochromis or something like that. I love it when they have common names. This might be the lemon jake. The other two cichlids I got from Robert were a yellow flame Z-Rock, which might be this one. Now this guy right here, I literally just saw at another breeder's house, and he couldn't tell me the scientific name on it. I said, I like that orange one. He's got a different shaped mouth. I never knew what he was. Now, all of these other fish that I've struggled with, I knew their scientific names when I bought them, and I just didn't keep track of which one was which. That one right here, I don't remember what that one is, but he's supposed to be bright colored when he gets bigger. But this one is the one that nobody knew when I was buying it. In the store, it was smaller. I've had it about 6 weeks. This was one of the first ones I got. And I thought it looked like a peacock bass. It was sold to the store owner as another species, and he was able to identify it was not what it was sold at. Then he thought it might be a 5-star general. Then he changed his mind on that. So we really don't know what kind of fish this is. That has to be the least satisfying tank walkthrough anyone's ever given, where I honestly can't remember the names of half the fish. And I feel like I get a failing grade for this aquarium video, but I bet some of you guys provide me with answers on these species in the comment section. So if you're watching this and you want to know what some of these species are, just read the comments. It'll be there. I generally try to know what I'm talking about when I turn the camera on, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it just is what it is, and I'm trying to learn as I go with the Africans. I have a lot more knowledge about most other types of fish, especially the South Americans, but I've got a lot to learn about Africans. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.